Hello friends, Deacon Bruns here with another Lenten Friday reflection. Have you ever had to tell a friend something hard? Some kind of news that you just really dreaded having to share? If you're like me, you probably hate having to do that. It's not fun to be the bearer of bad news, to tell someone that something bad is happening or has already happened. In our first reading from Jeremiah today we hear, "Terror on every side, denounce. Let us denounce him. All those who were my friends are on the watch for any misstep of mine." You see, the prophet Jeremiah, he's stuck, if you will, between a stiff-necked people and a God who wants him to share his message. King Nebuchadnezzar is expanding his Middle Eastern kingdom, and Israel's existence is threatened. So Jeremiah tells them, he warns them, hey, this is going to happen. Bad things are going to happen. But the people ignore his warning, and instead they denounce him. Those who he thought were his friends and who agreed with him have changed their tune. And Jeremiah is left wondering exactly what he's supposed to do. So in the midst of his crisis, Jeremiah voices 6 great laments. In essence, he tells God what he's trying to do, what has been asked of him, but he tells him that he's struggling and that he's really had enough of it. He's having to endure all these sorts of bad things because he's the one who has to break the bad news to the people. I think these laments, known to us as the Lamentations of Jeremiah, can really resonate deep within during these final days of Lent. So take some time to read them if you can. We're getting ready tomorrow evening to enter into Holy Week, the holiest time of the year as we journey and remember Christ's great saving work, all that he did for us so that we might have that promise of an eternity with him in heaven. And like Jeremiah, Jesus spoke a message that was really uncomfortable to the people of his time, and they denounced him as well. In fact, Jesus' message is still uncomfortable to the people of our time. They spat on him, they accused Jesus of blasphemy, they hung him on a tree to die. And Jesus lamented like Jeremiah as well. His sweat became as drops of blood flowing from him in his agony in the garden. He cried out from the cross, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." My God, why have you forsaken me?" Both Jesus and Jeremiah prove a point to us, though, that we need to remember. Part of any healthy relationship is the ability to be real and have a dialogue. To share, to lament, to share what's going on when life is hard, when it's rough, when we have to bear some news to someone that we love, when we have to let someone know how hurt we actually really are. One of my favorite moments in my faith journey, my spiritual life, came when it was an experience of when I knew that God was really present to me. I was kneeling in the chapel of my college seminary. It was the middle of the night, and as I knelt there, I was angry. And so I screamed in anger and frustration to God. I was upset at some things that had happened, and I remember just screaming at God, "Why? Why, God, why?" And I never heard anything. But as I went to leave the chapel that night without receiving an answer, still just furious and upset at God, I remember feeling the warmth that I had felt years ago when I sat on the four-wheeler in the middle of our family farm, looking up at the sky, and I said, "God, do you really want me to be a priest?" I remember having the thought then that popped into my head. "Corey, I allowed you to experience this because I wanted you to know that our relationship was real, and that it's not going to be easy if you follow after me. But if you do continue and follow after me, I will always love you. And in the end, my ways will be made complete, for they're not your ways. My ways will always lead you outside of yourself and lead you closer to me." Perhaps in these last few days of Lent, we might find ourselves struggling like I was and asking God, why? Why me? Why this news? Why this moment? Why does this have to happen? My prayer, and I encourage you to pray with me, is that in these last few days, those whys, those lamentations that we give voice to, that those might be strengthened. Strengthened with faith in God, strengthened with hope in a new tomorrow, strengthened with love that surpasses all understanding. As we enter into this holiest of weeks, may our lamentations, our sorrows, our misfortunes, our moments of life that upset us, bring us through the trials of this life, so that at the end we might be closer to the Lord than ever before, so that we too might rise with him from our lamentations, full of beautiful Easter joy on that third day.